Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today's session. So, today is the 50th episode of our Market Outlook series. And today, the format is going to be a little bit different. We will start off with our Nifty, Bank Nifty, and intersector analysis chart as per normal. And the last 20 minutes where we do the Q&A session. Today, we have some guests with us, and today we will take their questions live. So this session is also being hosted on Zoom, where we have guests with us, and the guests, those who want to ask questions in the last 20 minutes, I request you to please raise your hand so that my co-host queue you up and ask you to come off mute when we start with the Q&A session. With that, I will share my screen and we will get started. Now let's move on to Nifty's chart and start with the 3-minute. Lots of volatility has been experienced, I would say, in the last 2 weeks since we bottomed out pretty much on 16th of May, and the volatility is quite sensible. It makes sense given the macroeconomic situation. We have the election results coming up, so because of that there's a lot of anxiety in the market. In fact, just today one of my clients messaged me that would it be better to sell off the entire portfolio and sit on cash. Usually that kind of a strategy is not good, because while it does appeal to your risk averse side, it also takes away the opportunity which you might actually already have acquired in your portfolio. So if you've strategically, objectively taken positions, it is always better to stick with your trade setup irrespective of any events around the corner. Now with that, we are looking at the Nifty's 3-minute time frame, and what we can see here is that one strong wave of uptrend, which was backed by great volumes, has already unfolded on the charts. This correction that has been unfolding basically since the top of around 23,100 was forged on 27th May, this has so far already breached the 50% mark. But this 50% mark, the Fibonacci retracement of the previous rally, seems to be lending pretty good support. What is very significant in this 3-minute time frame and worth noting is the volumes. So today in the last hour, volumes really picked up, as you can see this MACD histogram showing you, and strong buying came. Not just that, the RSI of the 3-minute time frame, despite of being around the same price level, has definitely moved into what I like to call the bull range. Now the RSI of the 3-minute is reaching the level of 60 very comfortably, and on the downside it is taking support at the level of 40. So this is positive for us. And now if we move on to the 15-minute time frame, again the volume that I mentioned is very evident here, and also what we can notice here is a very strong positive RSI divergence on the 15-minute time frame. This RSI positive divergence, if you can see, I've thickened the line for you, this is telling us that we can expect strong recovery in the prices. Also, this line coincides with the 20 EMA on the price. I personally was not expecting this correction to go as deep as the 50%, but it also makes sense. So in my Elliott wave count on the wave that has unfolded has been updated considering this correction. So typically the correction is expected to unfold till the wave 4. And what we can see here is that this correction has indeed entered into the wave 4 territory, and over there it has breached. Or now, as long as the low of 22,422 doesn't get breached again, I am personally preparing for the next leg of the rally. Going on to the 75-minute time frame, here there is a more strong indication of bullishness. So if I can just bring this chart into perspective for you, what you will notice is that RSI tops that were being forged, this top that we've seen in the price has exceeded the level of 70, which is a sign of bullishness. And also when the bottom of 13th of May was forged, we saw strong RSI positive on divergence on the 75-minute time frame. Now on this 75-minute chart, we are again seeing RSI turn up from the level of 45. This is something which RSI has typically done whenever we have witnessed positive sentiment in the market. So as long as this 50% mark is not breached and we don't see a closing below this, I am expecting the market to continue rally. But of course, we should not forget that 22,250 is also an important support. So the strategy overall, especially for swing traders like myself in the market, should be to continue to hold positions but maintain stop losses. Now, in a sentimental market or in a market driven by sentiment like the one that we are experiencing right now because of the big event around the corner, whiplashes happen. So if you can see these candlesticks here, they have breached the support, the important support. So see, 22,500 is behaving like a very strong support. Every time the price comes to it or gets or breaches it, it is forming lower shadows, which means heavy buying has already started coming to the market. Now on, we had some signals of continued correction or strong correction momentum because we were seeing a lot of longer upper wicks in the market, whereas now we started seeing a lot of lower wicks. So this long lower wick got forged, then next day again, like next 1 hour again a long upper wick got forged. So this was a signal that maybe we are not done with the correction, but again the price tried to break below 22,500 and again it moved up and sustained pretty well. Let's move on to the daily time frame and add a little bit more to our analysis from there. So on the daily time frame, again, what I'm seeing is that the volume here significantly has been picking up whenever the price is on the upside. So if you notice on this candle and this candle, all these three candles experienced increasing volumes, whereas again on this candle where the price did not really make a lower low, we've seen a strong increase in the participation. In order to really believe that this next leg of rally is going to be established, the market needs to exceed above the key resistance of 22,850 or at least 22,007, basically the level where the previous two peaks of Nifty had taken strong resistance. So 22,775 or 22,800 to round it off is going to act as key resistance, and we need to see the market to cross over that level with strong volumes, strong momentum, lots of participation, so that we can allocate 100% of our cash. At this stage, it's okay to have around 40 to 60% of your cash invested in the market. Now, moving forward to Bank Nifty's analysis. Again, on Bank Nifty, what is very evident on this 15-minute time frame is the same 20 EMA, the blue line, has also lent support to Bank Nifty as well. We saw this phenomenon Nifty chart also. And on this Bank Nifty, if we take a Fibonacci since this 22nd May, or actually from this 13th May low to the high, here also 50% retracement has been marked, and we are seeing somewhat sort of a reversal here, but it's a little premature to call it a reversal. Here again, I would want to see, in case of Bank Nifty, I would want to see the rally or the prices cross above the level of 49,600 with a lot of conviction for me to start buying banks. Right now, when I look at banking stocks, I'm seeing a lot of mixed signals and they're not really encouraging a lot of confidence in me. With that, let us move on to the intersector chart analysis. A lot of people have been messaging and asking how to create this chart. Very simple. Just open the benchmark that you want to use. I prefer to use CNX 500, and I like to observe the intersector comparison on the 75-minute time frame. So that's what I have set. You need to set the chart to lines, not candlesticks. And then you need to click this plus button and you need to add the indices that you need to compare. So these are the indices on my screen that you can see. All these ticked ones are the ones that are added: FMCG, PSC, commodity, healthcare, private banks, PSU, metals. And I have used an indicator to showcase the dates at the top. The indicator is called vertical lines if you're interested. And just make sure that you go into settings, and on the scales and canvas, you check two things. Number one, in settings, price labels and lines, you want to check no overlapping labels, because if you don't check that, it'll become very difficult to read the name of your indices. And you can also check on the, I think it's called the symbol or the status line. Yeah, you want to see the names of the logo. So for that, I think you have to go to canvas, or was it on margins? I forget. But there is a place where you need to also check for the labels, because otherwise you won't be able to see the names of the stocks here. Let's see if I can find it in canvas. On the canvas background text lines panel, you need to right click and you need to go to settings of your axis scales. So here is the symbol, and you can basically select the name. If you don't select this name, you won't be able to see the name of the indices. So just go into scales and lines. Make sure you've checked no overlapping labels. In symbols, you need to check names. If you want to see values, sure. And of course, you want to see the lines. And then you can also select if you want to see the day of the week. That doesn't really matter. So this is basically how you create this. Now, why do we want to create this? Because this gives us a very good perspective of how have the sectors performed against each other from your zero date or your zero time period. So the zero time period is the one that is on the leftmost extreme of your chart. So suppose I want to set it at this point at 9:15 on 13th May when we actually bottomed out. This is what we observed last time also. And what we can see is that the realty sector and the PSC sectors and the metal sector, they continue to be leaders. Now, the metal sector out of these is the most attractive in my opinion because I'm seeing strong opportunities come up in the metal sector. And how do I know this? Because every week I do an individual analysis of all the indices charts. So the analysis that I've done for you on Nifty and Bank Nifty, I do that analysis individually on all the index charts in preparation for this session so that I can add value to you. So this CNX, Realty and PSC sector. So PSC sector continues to remain very bullish. So if you can buy the dip on select PSU stocks, that's great. Realty sector, however, I would say is a bit of a mixed bag. There are some stocks that are looking very positive for long term and short term, but there are some stocks which are starting to show big negative reversals or big negative divergences, indicating a warning sign that you don't want to indulge in buying those stocks at this stage. Good chance you'll get stuck at the top. Next, PSU Bank. Again, in PSU Bank, some attractive but some very unattractive sectors, candidates are also there, so you want to be careful. Auto sector, I think not a very good time. I want to wait for a little bit more correction in the auto sector before I start buying the stocks. CNX Infra is something that I'm avoiding for the time being. Now, CNX Energy, last week I said it's better to avoid because I'm expecting the crude oil prices to increase. But in CNX Energy, some stocks have started to catch my eye in terms of the chart insights that can be drawn from that, and they do look attractive. However, I am waiting for more confirmation there. Now, the most attractive, I would say, is the CNX IT sector here. This IT sector has declined significantly. So what I think is that IT sector is trying to come out of a pretty long period of correction, and it did for a few weeks give a pretty good rally, but now it has come back to retest the support. Now, in doing so, it has created really attractive RSI positive divergences multiple places. So it is indicating a strong shift, but it is also reflecting the anxiety around the past correction. This is called the recency bias or the recency effect that is very visible, but I think attractive opportunities can start coming up there. Next, we have the FMCG, the healthcare and the pharma. So healthcare and pharma, there are selective stocks which are looking attractive, but on an overall basis, it's bit of a mixed bag, whereas never my first preference for purchasing, even though Colpal has given fantastic rally in the last 1 year. Most of the other FMCG stocks continue to look pretty unattractive. So with that, we come to the end of the presentation that I had for you. Now we will move forward with the Q&A, and we have 25 minutes for the Q&A. So we have some guests with us, and I would like to invite the guests to come off mute or raise their hands to start asking questions. So if you want to come off mute and if you want to ask any question, please feel free to do that. So we have our first member asking question. So yes, Hari Kumar ji, you may unmute yourself and please ask your question. Hari Kumar ji is asking about Ratan India Power at 7.5. So what is the stop loss? Let's pull up Ratan India, RTN Power. So 7.5. So you're clearly holding the stock for long term, and given how illiquid, this is a stock which is suitable for the short term. Now, my concern is that if you look at the volume profile here, even though the price continues to increase strongly, this point onwards, I am seeing that the volume participation has declined significantly. So what I would suggest to you is, unless you are okay with holding the stock for a big downside of 35%, which I doubt you'd be okay with. See, because technically from a long-term perspective, the stop loss here cannot be more than 11 rupees, which for very long term, the stock looks attractive for sure. There's a pretty good chance it can reclaim 38 rupees. But if you're of the opinion that I'm not okay holding on to such a large stop loss, because on the 5-week time frame also, if you see, the volume participation has been declining, and typically that is what precedes the decline of, or the topping out of a stock which is going up so magnificently. So I would suggest that for now you maintain your stop loss below the weekly low of 15 rupees. And if 15 rupees gets breached, then you should book your profits and get out of the stock. Then when the stock comes back down to maybe 12 and a half, 11 and a half rupees, in that range, you can re-enter the stock. The Hi Sahil, to steel cast. So this is again a new stock that I'm not aware of the fundamentals. So I will assume that the fundamentals are strong, given the strong rally that has been unfolding on the stock, Sahil. But what concerns me again is that here the price tried to break out above, but then again the volume was very absent. So up to the point where the price went and retested the previous high, the volume participation was there. And also, if you notice, increase in volume that we are noticing up to this point has been against a declining price pattern. So here the price declined and lots of selling happened. And then this upside that occurred did not really experience a strong boost in volumes. So I personally would take that as a sign of probable extended correction in the market in this specific stock. Also, I can notice that this stock has completed a 5-wave correction up to this point, as per Elliott wave count, if you're aware of that. Now, the thing is, that doesn't necessarily mean that the stock is going to absolutely tank. It can simply mean that the stock is going to go into an extended period of consolidation, just the way it did somewhere over here. The problem with that is holding a stock which is in consolidation for a period of 1 or 2 years doesn't really give any yield for your portfolio. So it is more beneficial, obviously, to hold on to stocks which are giving you strong momentum. From that perspective, I would recommend you to hold a stop loss in the stock right below this low. Can you tell me what your cost price in the stock is? Around 180. So you seem to have purchased it at a little bit of a higher end. And are you holding this for the short term or the long term? Expect the stock to decline a little bit more, because see, it's also breached the 100 EMA. And if you look at the past, it typically does not do that unless it's heading for a deeper correction. So my suggestion to you would be exit the stock for now and maybe buy it a little bit after some correction. So I was initially going to give you a stop loss of 132.3, but since your purchase price is 180, that means that would be a pretty big stop loss for you unnecessarily, right? Because my short-term view on the stock is a little bit on the bearish side, because I can see negative range shift and negative divergence very clearly on the chart. So it would be better to wait and see if the stock stabilizes around 117 rupees, or 117 to 110, basically this entire range, and then attempt a re-entry in the stock. That's around 30% lower than the current market price. So I'm expecting that bit of a correction. Now, if the stock breaks out above the level of 185 and starts to go up, then let's again touch base on the updated analysis for this. Now, for the members, if you want to connect for the live session with me on Zoom, I request you to join my Telegram channel. When you join the Telegram channel, there I will be sharing the registration links, and you can join the session from the Telegram channel itself. Now, before I get started with the stock queries, just a quick reminder that you can connect with me by joining my Telegram channel. So if you want to know about my daily market insights and want priority access to these live sessions that I'm doing, then please search for Trade with Kavita on Telegram channel. All you have to do is either click the link which I've shared in the comments, or open your Telegram app and search Trade with Kavita. Now, just mind you, there are lots of fake channels going on, so you have to be very particular with the spelling. There's no number, there is no additional alphabets after the name. So search that, and you will see daily quizzes, post about my webinars, and my analyst comment. This is basically the cue that this is the right channel, because remember, these other fake channels are taking a lot of money and really scamming people. So I don't want you to get stuck with that. So let's now move on with the stock query for today. I can see we have a request from Pankaj for Paytm. Now on Paytm, will the stock be able to come back? Technically, fundamentally, I don't really know because they're going through a bit of a rough patch. But from a technical perspective, it is looking like it has formed a bit of a base around the level of 318. And against this base, there is also a positive divergence. But then again, very evidently, the volume is picking up whenever the price is declining, not when the price is increasing, which is not very promising. So personally, I would wait for this stock to breach above the level of 430 with strong volumes, and I would wait for that to happen before taking a judgment of whether I should invest in this stock or not. And if I were in place of you and if I had an active position in a stock, like, I would rip off my band-aid, I would claim the losses that I have already incurred instead of incurring further opportunity cost, because the market is in a beautiful bull run. It makes no logical sense to be holding on to losers at this point of a time in the market. So be brave, let go of the losers and invest in better stock opportunities. If you want guidance with which stocks to purchase for the long term, you're more than welcome to connect with me. I can tell you about my long-term offerings. Let's move on to the next stock. Nirmal Jain wants to know about Tata Steel. So he has huge quantities of Tata Steel and he wants to know the short term and the long term view. So goes without saying, Tata Steel, very good holding for long term investment in India. And even for the short term, I would say as long as it sustains above the level of, it looks pretty attractive. I really feel that this decade, it belongs to the Tata Group. They've positioned themselves very well in very fast growing sectors and industries, and the synergies that they're offering to their customers, to their vendors, it's amazing. So any Tata stock that you're holding for a long-term perspective, you don't have to think twice. For the short-term perspective also, Tata Steel specifically looks pretty attractive to me. It can give a little bit of a consolidation and maybe to be a little bit, from a longer term perspective, I would request you to hold a stop loss at around 7, not smaller than that. But for short term, you can do with a stop loss at the level of around 156. And for the short term, again, the target would be around this trend line, so around 200 rupees. For the long term, very difficult to give a target at this. Though I do see I have some trend lines drawn. Let's see if they can lend some support. So from the long term, it seems like the fresh leg of rally has just started and has a long way to go. So keep holding on to it without any stress. Again, let's now move on to Yes Bank. So your cost price is 60. Yes Bank has become quite attractive for swing trading, but it's also very risky because it's extremely volatile. What I do feel is that since some time, Yes Bank has been adhering to a bit of a bull range, which makes it quite attractive to purchase whenever it takes a big dip like the one that it has taken now. So right now it is around 32% down from the peak, and if I use the Fibonacci, it's breached and taken support at 61.8% level, but it has also been creating a base around the 50% level. Since you seem to have purchased the stock at the top, so it looks like you've been holding the stock since a very long time, at least since 2019. There is no harm in holding on to Yes Bank for the long term. However, for the future, I will strongly recommend that please use stop loss even on your long-term holdings, because remember, when you lose 50% of your capital, it takes 100% of upside just to reach break even. Right? And it's not easy to reach 100% upside. So if you do ever have to make 100%, if you do ever make 100%, let it be towards growing your portfolio rather than reaching break even. Manage risk better on the portfolio. So we have another request for Vedanta. I feel like every single day there is at least one request on Vedanta, and I really don't understand the attraction towards the stock considered all the other issues around it. But I can see that Vedanta is very close to a double top here. And the closer it gets to this double top level, the volume participation continues to decrease further and further from that perspective. Also, on the 75-minute time frame, a little bit of loss of momentum has started to build up. So to me, it looks like this was the last leg of the upside, and I wouldn't be very bullish about another leg of upside. And it is crucial that the stock breaks above the level of 525 with very strong volume participation to invoke a little bit of confidence. Right now, based on what I'm seeing in the chart, lack of volume, losing momentum, my confidence is shaken on the chart. I would like to see the stock retest the level of 30 on RSI 25 period on the 75-minute time frame before I can take another judgment. I personally prefer not to trade even for a short-term perspective in stocks like Vedanta, which have considerable corporate governance issues in my opinion. So we still have some time left. So let's take a look at Satish's request for Paisa Lelo's analysis. Let's see, Paisa Lelo. In the meanwhile, if any of our members would like to raise hand and request, feel free to just raise your hand and your request will be prioritized. Let's move on to Paisa Lelo's analysis. Bit of a liquidity concern here, which makes it unfit for short-term trading. And you have the stocks in 79 rupees. So seem to have bought it after the breakout. And what I want to see is what was the nature of the breakout above this level. So over here, I can see the breakout occurred with pretty solid volumes and has also come back to retest this level. So it's created a pretty nice base here. Also, this right here created a nice positive divergence, which has moved the stock up to the bull range, which basically in layman language means this is the beginning of a new bull trend. And from a long-term perspective, the stock continues to look quite attractive. I would expect the rally to continue. And my very first target on the stock would be around the level of 120 rupees. Now, as for the stop loss, because obviously we don't operate in the market without stop loss. So here your stop loss would be right below the swing low that it has created around 53. And you see, this is what is actually stop loss hunting. Here the breakout happened right above the level of 56 rupees. And when the correction happened, it just broke below that level to catch all those stop losses, which would probably be set around that high. And then it went back into a rally. The good thing is it has again come down to offer a very attractive entry zone with a mere stop loss of 16%, which is not big at all, with a very attractive target level of around 90% or 85%. Very attractive risk reward ratio in this stock. So with that, we come to the end of today's session. Thank you so much for joining the live. I will see you again on Wednesday in the Let's Get Technical series. And remember, if you want to join us for interactive session or interaction during the last Q&A session, do join my Telegram channel. With this, I take your leave. Thank you for being such great audience. Namaste.